Somebody who was trying to discredit me. They have made me look like the Joker, and under my name, they have...
Well, I'm going to turn off Glenn Beck because I don't think Glenn Beck quite understands the nature of the road to ruin on which our nation has embarked. People like Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh operate within certain constraints imposed by political correctness. However, for somebody to actually confront the basic premises on which political correctness rests, someone like that will not have a voice that is allowed to be heard. I was really taken aback when my video, The Demographic Decline of Switzerland, was pulled from YouTube on grounds that it constituted hate speech against protected groups. On YouTube, I've seen a number of videos that specifically target people with red hair. Videos that are very derogatory, and I would even say hateful. This person isn't a member of a protected group. This person is. My video was merely a travelogue. I wasn't advocating terrorism or violence of any kind. I didn't engage in any hatred whatsoever in my video. I didn't threaten anybody in any way. I didn't use crude language. Now, obviously, you can find all kinds of disgusting and violent, even hateful and racist content on YouTube that is allowed to stay. And why is that? Because what they are interested in getting off the site is material that is presented in a context that forces people to actually think about the premises of political correctness. Now, I'm quite confident that if another YouTuber decided to pull content from my video, specifically the segment that was deemed hateful or offensive, and I have no idea which one it was, but that if they took that content and incorporated it into a video of their own about the subject of racism, that video about racism would be allowed because it would implicitly or explicitly rebut my video. So really what YouTube objects to in my video is not the content per se. It's the fact that the content is being presented in an unfiltered manner. It can exist, just not on its own merits. It has to be recontextualized. Now, I believe there are some types of content that should be restricted on sites such as YouTube, but those restrictions ought to be based on simple, objective guidelines. For example, explicit threats or hardcore pornography. In contrast to the ban on so-called hate speech, the ban on pornographic content is being enforced, so far as I can tell, in an honest, straightforward, and objective manner. Meaning that even if somebody wants to post pornographic videos because they are a feminist and they want to show how demeaning such content is to women, that's no more allowable than a person who posts pornography just because they want to get off on it. In the case of pornography, the context or the viewpoint associated with it isn't the issue. The issue is the content itself. When the forces of political correctness seek to ban some people from using a certain content while allowing other people to use it, the forces of political correctness are disengaging from the realm of ideas. They are saying that we're worried that we may not be able to combat your ideas that we disagree with with our own ideas. So therefore, we need to use a power that we have. And in the case of YouTube, it's not physical force, but it is certainly a power that is wielded like an instrument of force, and that is in fact wielded as an instrument of force by governments around the world. There are people in prison right now for so-called hate speech, and often that hate speech amounts to little more than questioning or objecting to or offering alternative theories about events in history. So the whole point of thought crimes is either to make people who are thinking and expressing forbidden thoughts submit, or else to marginalize them. But you know, the people who enforce thought control are themselves intellectual prisoners. They don't allow their own thoughts to flow freely. They don't allow themselves to pursue the truth wherever it may lead. No. And unfortunately, the powers that be don't want people to think for themselves. They want conformity. They want blind adherence to meaningless, empty slogans. When they say they want diversity, they want uniformity. When they say they're for equal opportunity, they mean predetermined outcomes. When they say they're for free speech, they mean they're for their freedom to control your speech. To them, words don't have real meaning. To them, language is just a tool. But they have a problem. The more they have to resort to repression and restrictions and force, the more they will be exposed for what they truly are and what their agenda truly represents.